Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucko Brew, powered by Fer Coffee Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. Jim, as always, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Good morning. Hope
Great
you're doing
morning.
well. Yeah.
Doing well. I'm up. I'm alive. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, I was the one who was a little bit late today. Usually it's the other way around. So my apologies to the people waiting here.
No harm, no foul. All good. That's why it's always ish. They know the drill.
Yeah, I think I was well within the ish range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, absolutely. But at any rate, yeah, Pirates take 1 out of 3 this weekend against the Rockies. This very deja vu. We were here yesterday talking about the game. But like you mentioned, 30 runs scored apiece. A wild series. It was just wild. It had everything except for really good pitching. Except for sometimes.
Yeah, it was an incredible series. Like we talked about the game on Sunday, but I mean that game Friday was insane. And I know the Pirates were on the losing end of it, but that was a wild and crazy baseball game.
It certainly was.
And I mean, it was a big sellout Rockies crowd, so like the environment must have been insane for that. So definitely on the wrong end of a crazy game, but that was a wild game to watch. Wild game to watch. I mean, and it was a late game. It took forever. I feel like it was after midnight when that game ended. And then because of the way that game was, post game show was crazy. Ryan and Cody did the post game show, and they're all of you guys were super angry in there. So yeah, it was a fun weekend despite 2 losses, but like the baseball was different. It was like watching a new sport because of how much offense there was. Like we haven't seen baseball like that very much this season.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know how crazy it was? You were getting corrected on how many games they won this year, this series. Whether it was Twitter or something.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they won 2 games.
Yeah. And it's like, no,
they lost on Friday.
They only won 1. No, it was like if you ever like traveled like out west and you've gone to like like Nevada or Utah or Colorado or whatever, it looks like you're on like an entirely different planet sometimes. That's what this weekend was. It's like the Pirates that went west and they were on a different planet playing a different sport. It was, I said, even though they lost 2 of 3, it was still just interesting to see that type of baseball be played, because like I said, we don't get to see that very much. It's the Pirates this season have very much been pitch really well, score just enough, and that's how they win. There hasn't been a lot of winning because they're not scoring just enough. But this weekend was everybody scores at will as much as you want. And, good luck to the pitchers. Sorry, but you guys got tagged this weekend. I mean, everybody did.
I mean, how many complaints have you heard or seen on Twitter or wherever? It's just like, this team stinks, but like they could at least not be boring. These 1-0 games are just so boring. Well, Friday, there you go. Friday was the game for you. Mm-hmm. They still stink and they still lost. So the results have remained the same, but you were certainly entertained. And yeah, again, like just a wild, crazy game. I mean, think about this. They had 9 runs. We were joking. I actually came late for the game. I think I was in there 4 batters in. And, you're the one who mentions like, are they going to get out? I was like, what are you talking about? And they then seeing what's transpiring. And then, yeah, like Jared Triolo hits in double play. And it was like, oh, of course. And then they kept going. And then you and I were playing a little mini game. It's like, is Jared Triolo going to make all 3 outs this inning? Can it happen? That's what we were kind of rooting for. Sorry, Jared. But we were kind of rooting for it to get back to you again and you to make the final out. That's just how wild it was. 9 runs in the first inning. I mean, you're sitting back here saying, I mean, the game's won, right? I mean, we're not worried about anything. It's just like, how are we going to enjoy the rest of the game? And then it's like chipping away. But again, like the Pirates are also adding runs to it. It's not like it just stopped. It just kept going. And you're up 5, like you're up, Santana's in, and you lose the game. They lost the game. Are we kidding? Yeah, it was entertaining. And then seeing Cody's reaction on the post game. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would have been, like I said, that would have been a fun post game show to do. Like even though the way it ended, like it would have been fun to just like hop on here live immediately after and just get the reaction. So yeah, no, that was a fun one from Ryan and Cody if you haven't watched it yet.
Yep.
Yeah, I was on Ryan because we debuted the Ryan's Locks this weekend, and you know if you're a betting person, go check that out on social media. If you're not, no worries. But he said the Rockies were going to score more than 5.5 runs on Friday was his bet, and I was giving him shit. I was like, you picked the wrong team, dude. You picked the wrong team, and then that turned. He was right very very quickly. So.
Yeah, for sure. The Fanduel Ryan's lock, and I think it was a lock. Like that was the most confident one I was confident in this series this weekend. Yeah. Mitch going 17.5 outs. Yeah, go on Fanduel, smash that, and it was looking really really good, and it didn't happen. But yeah, kind of wild, kind of crazy. But now we're back down to earth. They're going to play the Giants again. Verlander's going to take the mound again, but there's going to be a new person in town, a new person taking the mound. And we'll talk about that here shortly as well. Ben has some quotes. We'll talk about that. Paul Skenes had some quotes. We'll talk about that. But before we do go any further and talk about that, let you know about a sponsor of today's show. Fer is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh Historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by DeFer's new location downtown. That's on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available, and check out their Instagram for more details. Of course, that is defer.coffee. And Jim, how do our listeners save some money?
Yeah, if you go to defer.coffee and use promo code NS930, NS930, you'll get 30% off your first order. And I said it came in handy Friday night too, because it was a long work day for me, and it was a late game, and that game was dragging. So I had a cup of coffee Friday night just to help keep me awake.
Yeah, one of those nights for sure. It's really good too. Actually, and everyone listening probably knows, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I put on someone down here to Fer Coffee when I was at another local coffee shop. So there's that. Save them some money. But yeah, so go check them out, defer.coffee. They have a plethora of options. That's actually what the person that I was talking to said. Like, holy shit, there's so many things here to buy. I was like, yeah, good luck. So anyways, yeah. So again, kind of getting back to the Rocky series here to wrap that up. The offense exploded. Haven't seen that in forever. Kudos to them. But they only take 1 out of 3, Jim.
Yeah, 1 out of 3. You definitely want to at least win 2 of those. They're the worst team in baseball, right? So yeah, the fact that you let them win 2 games off of you let them beat Paul Skenes. I mean, that was the other thing too. Skenes didn't get tagged with the loss, but he was rolling also through 5 innings, and he kind of fell apart in the 6th, similar to Keller on Sunday. So yeah, it was a weird weekend. I'm sure the pitchers are very glad to be coming back to PNC Park, and to face the Giants. The Giants are a team that they swept the Giants in San Francisco. It was a very bizarro weekend, like the team that you would have expected them to struggle against, because they were fighting for they're fighting for a playoff spot. The Pirates basically made the Giants sellers at this trade deadline. Like that's what happened. The Giants were not intending on selling going into that series. They lose all three. Next thing you know, they're trading pieces, and the Pirates win three in a row. So,
Buddy,
yeah, it was
the
a
2025 Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, just making team sellers randomly in the end of July. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend, crazy week. This week you got the Giants coming in, you got the Reds coming in, you got 7 games, 7 days, so no off days. And like you mentioned, we got a new face coming on board with Oviedo. Yeah, that's it's gonna be a good week. Hopefully, I'm excited to see Oviedo, and we'll get into him a little bit later in the show. But with the Pirates trading Bailey Falter, it did open up a spot, and it's interesting because you trade all these guys, and you're thinking, all right, well, we'll get some new people in here to see what they got, and it's all the same people that we've seen before. So that's a little disappointing, but yeah, I mean, you saw like someone like Liover Peguero get a little bit more of a run here this week, and he responded with a really nice weekend in Colorado. So someone who we've seen a little bit, over his
Is that you?
Am I back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Something happened to my mic or AirPods or something. But the Pirates are starving for somebody to come up here and hit. So the fact that Peguero did that this week, like, just keep playing him. That was my biggest takeaway from this week, was like, I've probably given up on Peguero, but like, you look at it, he's only 24. He's a 250 plate appearances. Like, he probably does deserve a little bit more time before we completely give up on him. I think it's just his minor league numbers just aren't. They don't give me. It doesn't give me much excitement, the fact that he's struggled so much at AAA. But I mean, who else are you going to go with right now? That's kind of the question too.
Yeah, well, I know like Tyler and I kind of talked and discussed that a bit. I'm fine with it. Because like this kind of is his last shot, an opportunity as well. Like, if finish out this year, see what he has, because like he could no longer be on the 40 man, and you're going to find out here. I think, like when we talked about, he was always the young guy for the league he was in. It was always kind of, I want to say the excuse, but like the numbers were fine always. They didn't like blow you away, right? They're always fine. And they said, but also he's the youngest hitter in the league. So think about that, right? Like, he's playing against older pitchers. He's young. They're respectable numbers. There's still something there. And then it just seemed like he kind of plateaued in AAA, and worse than plateaued. Like, again, he was almost a 20% below league average hitter this year, and now he's age 24. Like, that excuse isn't there. So, and you see them bring in guys like Nick York, who also isn't blowing anything away also, but performing better, right? So like, there's guys that are now jumping Peguero, and right, it just seems like he's kind of like an afterthought, but he is the one that is here now. You could make the argument Nick York probably should be here over him. You could make the argument in that sense, right? Because Nick York's having a better season in AAA. But regardless, like, Peguero is the one that's here. He had a 3 home run night. I don't know if I truly believe in that type of a power from him, but I mean, power is in his calling card, right? I'm just not sure if he's going to have like 15 to 20 home runs, but you might as well. You might as well play it out. There's 2 months here. He had 3 home runs, right? He had another home run before. Like, the season numbers are showing to be pretty good and productive. I mean, just give him a bit of a run. Let's see what he has. Let's see if it falls back down to earth and he goes in, San Fran and just falls flat on his face and continues. And it's like, well, you know what? Maybe he is more of who we thought he was, but you gave him a bit of a run. Now you really know. Now you make the adjustments heading into the offseason. I have no problem playing Peguero at this point in time. And again, a 3 home run performance. You know what? You're earning some of it right now. Go do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he took advantage of the playing time that he was given this week, and might as well see more of him at this point.
That's it. But like you said, more of the same. I do just want to ask you real quick also, like the pitching fell completely apart. Do you attribute more to the Rockies, or are you attributing this of kind of beware there's more to this second half's coming? I throw this out there. It is the tag. It is the Mitch Keller falls apart. He didn't have the good fifth inning, right?
Yeah.
Or I should say sixth inning in him. Also, Paul Skenes fell apart. There's some knock that he can't go deep into games, Jim. I don't really believe too much in that, but Santana blew up. Like, is this like, hey, the mirage is over, or listen, it's Denver?
I'm going to lean towards it's Coors. Let's not worry about it until they show me that I need to worry about it outside of Coors. Like if they come home today and they blow another lead to the Reds, or they do it twice this week against the Giants, if they come home and they do it at home, then I'll be like, yeah, this is a little bit concerning, because they did trade some key pieces. I mean, let's face it, like David Bednar has been insanely good for 2+ months now, like untouchable, absolutely untouchable. Every time you put him in, it's basically been a guaranteed zero. Caleb Ferguson was by far your best lefty option, like very reliable lefty out of the pen, and now he's gone. So yeah, it's making you dig a little bit deeper into this bullpen. We've seen, Dowry Moretta is up. We've already seen some shuffling back and forth with Harrington going and with Oviedo coming up. Like someone else is going to have to go down now. But I'm still optimistic about this bullpen. Like I said, they definitely got worse. I mean, let's just call it like it is. Like they're not going to get better because they traded David Bednar and Caleb Ferguson. Like the bullpen is going to get worse because you're replacing those two guys with Borucki and Moretta. I mean, I guess that's kind of where you're at right now. Bednar and Ferguson are better than Moretta and Borucki. Like that's a downgrade. I like both of those two pitchers. I don't have I like watching them. I'm fans of them, but Ferguson and Bednar are better. Plain and simple.
Right.
So yeah, how does this bullpen respond? I'm not worried about Santana in the least bit. What I am worried about though is, Matson being pushed to maybe a higher leverage role. How does he respond to that? And with Matson going to a higher leverage role, what does that mean for the middle innings? Like who steps up and provides you with solid 6th and 7th inning pitching? Because we didn't see it much this series. Carmen Mlodzinski is a guy who has responded really, really well to being moved into the bullpen. Like I said, 2.20 ERA now out of the bullpen for Carmen Mlodzinski. Wonder who called that. Like every other, like every single person in the world knew that was going to happen. Braxton Ashcraft has looked really good out of that bullpen. So like, what does his role look like going forward? He didn't look good this weekend, but again, neither did anybody. So yeah, it's I'm not worried yet. I guess that to answer your question, I'm not worried. But if they come home and they blow some leads, it's gonna be time to start worrying about how this bullpen's gonna shape up the rest of the year.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's a great way of putting it. Obviously we like Borucki. Big Bank is back. I'm excited about that. Love Big Bank. But again, we love them for who they are. I don't love them because I think Dowry Moretta can be a shutdown closer. I love Dowry Moretta because the dude is just a ball of excitement, and I love watching him on the mound do some crazy pitching. But like, it's the 6th inning. He's good for that role. If he's in the closer role, I might be clenching up a little bit here and like, oh boy. And we might see that sometimes over the next 2 months. I mean, good for him if he succeeds, but it's like I like Borucki as well for who he is, But again, it's nice seeing that Big Bank's back. We talk about like Peguero about answering questions and stuff. Like I'm very interested to find out who Big Bank is now returning from his injury and such, and the rest of the year. And the minor leagues, like the numbers looked fine, looked fine. And he came up yesterday and had the one out. So let's see what he can do. I'm excited to see that. But absolutely, like you lost David Bednar. The guy hasn't given up what two earned runs now since May 24th, or actually it was just the one. Yeah, it was just the one he gave up. So one earned run in like over 2 months. Yeah, that's literally shut down. Him and Santana combined, I think, was like 3 earned runs since sometime in June or something. It's just like a ridiculous, crazy number. So yeah, this bullpen's going to take a bit of a hit, but I'm with you that it's probably more of Colorado than anything. But if there's something about the second half, Ben had some things to say, and that's one thing as well. Like we talk about, like what changed? It's like Heaney's still here, Tommy Pham's still here, IKF still here. Like, could you guys just not trade them? Did you guys choose to? Seemed like there's maybe truth to both to some level, but obviously, like Ben's got on board and said, like, we didn't have to trade anybody. Didn't feel like we needed to trade people. Not going to make a trade just to make a trade. And there's value in having these guys. And I'll say this, like, he's not totally wrong. We've been talking about veterans being on the team and such. He's not totally wrong. Like, I'll give him that. I appreciate veterans being around this club. But there's also guys I think right now I would rather see playing that aren't going to play because, well, Tommy Pham's here. Like, so does Billy Cook come up this second half? Are we going to see the fruits of that trade? Right, IKF here and Peguero getting a run. Like, so then is York going to have a run here? Are we going to see the fruits of that trade? So that's the downfall of like keeping some of these guys here. He has some more to say too, and we'll get to that. But like, I want to start off with that. Like, what are your thoughts on keeping those guys? How it shapes up the second half, and what you're going to see here and expect?
I still am trying to wrap my head around what happened this trade deadline. I don't understand why Tommy Pham is still here. I don't understand why Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is still here. I don't understand. I understand why Andrew Heaney's here. That's the one I guess I can understand because he performed so poorly these last 2 months. I could see there just maybe not being a market for him. And then by the time teams who were semi-interested got around to him, like they just went with other options, But like Tommy Pham is a league average hitting corner outfielder at this point. And he's on fire. His last 2 months, he's been like, we put the stats up all the time, like since June 22nd when he fixed his eyes, like he's been one of the better hitters in baseball. I refuse to believe that there wasn't teams out there looking to acquire Tommy Pham in some capacity. Now, were they willing to give you a ton of stuff for him? No, he's a rental outfielder for 2 months who's hitting league average, but he's a veteran who has played in important games throughout his career. There are plenty of teams out there that you look and they've got, he could be a fourth outfielder on a contending team and be a darn good fourth outfielder on a contending team and give you good at bats, specifically against left-handed hitting, and somebody who hey, he's got plenty of postseason experience. I can insert him into the lineup or into a spot in a big game, and like he's not going to fold. He's done it plenty of times throughout his career. So like I find it impossible to believe that there just was no one willing to bring on Tommy Pham's league average red hot bat down the stretch of a playoff run. And so like the fact that he's still here just means that Ben Cherington completely fumbled that entire situation. Tommy Pham gave you a gift. We were talking about DFAing him 2 months ago, and he went from that to serviceable major league outfielder. Gave you a gift, and it's August 4th, 4 days after the deadline now, and he's still here. You didn't capitalize on everything that he's given you these last 6 weeks.
Right.
I don't understand how that's possible. How how did you not get something for him? And I mean anything. Like, you could have, if the offer was international bonus pool money, you still take it. Like, Tommy Pham serves you no purpose going down the stretch here. The only thing he does is he takes away playing time from the guys who, like, you really need to figure out what you're doing with them. Like, what are they going to do with Alexander Canario? Who knows? He hasn't played in 4 months. He played like 2 weeks in a row, and they just stopped playing him.
Right.
He's on the side of milk cartons. Like, who's seen Alexander Canario? And I'm not like clamoring and banging down the door that like Canario needs playing time, but Tommy Pham serves you no purpose. If your goal is to get better in 2026, playing Tommy Pham these next 2 months doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't do anything for you at all. You need to find out some things on some other guys. And whether that's Jack Sawinski, who I think we all know what's up there, but whether it's Sawinski, whether it's Canario, whether it's Billy Cook, like, you've got to figure out what these guys are, because next season, like, you just failed this season. The season was a failure. You can't have another failure. You can't go into next year just like hoping guys are going to be okay, or hoping, hey, so-and-so might help me. You have to know for sure, is Billy Cook worth me rostering next year? Like, should I even waste a 40-man spot on Billy Cook? Alexander Canario has no options. So it's like, you either roster him or he's gone. Like, you got to make that decision over the offseason. So, like, why are you just not finding out the exact answer to that question? I think we all know the answer is probably no. But, like, this is where it doesn't make sense for me. Him and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in particular are two guys that teams should have wanted. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, not in his current role that he plays with the Pirates, but like, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa would make a perfect utility infielder on a lot of teams. Why is he still here? Why is he going to be getting everyday playing time over the guys that you've acquired to be part of the future? Like, now we don't get to see Cam Devaney. We don't get to see Nick York. We don't get to see these guys who they should have freed up spots for. And so now going into the offseason, we have no idea. We have no idea what Cam Devaney can do at the major league level. We have no idea what Nick York can do at the major league level. So we're going to go into the offseason with the exact same thing as last year, where it's like, we don't know if we can count on these guys. That means we're going to have to sign Adam Frazier again. You know, like, that's where we're going now. And I don't understand. It was a catastrophic failure by Ben Cherington that those two guys, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Tommy Pham, are still on this roster. A catastrophic failure. Just like he's had a billion catastrophic failures before this, those two still being here, just it's inexcusable. Inexcusable that those two guys are still on this team.
Right. And like, I also want to bring up the fact that not even so much of like finding out, right? Not even so much like find out Nick York. I mean, you traded for Nick York. He's a pro, still young. Like, he's part of the future in some capacity. I don't think the next 2 months are going to answer how much, right? But what about giving him time to develop in the majors? So like, it's not happening next year when you are, air quotes, competing. Like, hey, you know what? You got 200 plate appearances in the majors last year. You got that out the way. You know, maybe you won't come up struggling for your first 200 plate. I know it's not technically his first, but the point I'm saying is, like, it's not happening next year. That development curve isn't happening when you're trying to develop. That's why you use this time. Billy Cook, he has, for what it is, he has been playing a lot better recently than what he was beforehand. And like, also, like, the average isn't totally, like, it could be better. He's been getting like kind of baby-ups a bit, but regardless, like, he's been performing better. Bring him up here. Let him really see major league pitching. Let him really be in that major league environment on this baseball team. Because if he's going to be part of your future, because he is someone you're like kind of analyzing, but also analyze him while he's getting that major league experience and development, right? Devaney also, like you said, like that's the biggest one. I mean, I don't really. He was traded for Adam Frazier, right? He was traded for Adam Frazier. You can't put stock in him like this guy's going to be the franchise altering player. Adam Frazier as a rental was his value, but there's enough intrigue there, like Canario, right? When he came over, that let's see if there's something there. What can he maybe be? We know the glove is there. We're seeing highlights him out in the system. The glove is certainly there. There's value there. There's some pop in that bat. Like, is there enough that at the major league level he can be serviceable next year? Could he be Jared Triolo's replacement? Like, is he someone that's like, hey, you know what? I actually value him more than Jared Triolo. He's got the glove too, but hey, there is that bat. Or is it like, no, like we just move on? Find out. But IKF being there doesn't allow that. And again, there's Peguero, there's York, there's Devaney. Like, there's a lot of options that you could have here. And yes, going back to Tommy Pham, also, like, do some of these guys a service. Allow them to go in a contender, not being stuck here in Pittsburgh. Allow them to go to a contender. Now free agents are worried about coming to Pittsburgh and getting trapped. They're not even like, hey, you know what? Well, at least they'll get traded. At least they'll suck and I'll get traded. It's like now it's like, man, they might suck and I might be stuck. That's like another reason not to come to Pittsburgh now. But going back to Tommy Pham, you know, again, the fundamental change, it's not as if he just heated up randomly on June 22nd. He had a fundamental change. He couldn't see. He got contacts. Now he can see, and he's doing it. And I want to say something here also. Like, it's not just luck. It's not just luck. Since June 22nd, he has an expected batting average of 335, for his actual average is 390. He's the fourth best hitter in baseball in this time also. The fourth best hitter. There's only 3 guys better than Tommy Pham at this point in time since June 22nd, and that's George Springer, Kyle Stowers, which, by the way, freaking Miami. Like, can Ben ever pull that trade off? No. And Nick Kurtz. That's it. Tommy Pham expected batting average 335, as mentioned. His his average exit velocity 94.1 miles an hour. His hard hit rate 54%. His average launch angle 12%. Like, the dude is actually mashing. This is real stuff.
He's killing the ball.
Couldn't find anyone for anything, so you can maybe play some of these other guys. Canario has 22 plate appearances since June 22nd. Like, again, I don't know if I truly believe in it either, but you're not going to find out from him not playing at all. 22 plate appearances
in 6 weeks. That's 3 at bats a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to find anything out. No hitter is going to show anything at all doing that. And I think, like I said, that's just the frustrating part, is like, in the press conference too afterwards, like, they talked about, you know, some of what this move does is it also opens up some playing time for some younger players. And they call up Jared Triolo. They call up Kyle Nicholas. They activate Ryan Barucki. So, like, they didn't bring up any young players. They just brought up the same guys we've been seeing. Like, you make these moves and then you say, yeah, it's going to open up some playing time for some younger players. And you just start playing Jared Triolo more. We traded Ke'Bryan Hayes because that allows us the flexibility to go out there and put some offense at third base. And you just bring in the light version of Ke'Bryan Hayes, like, to replace him. I don't understand what he's doing. He clearly, he either had a plan and failed miserably, or just didn't have any plan at all and just winged it, and it ended up being a disaster. It was. I don't understand how he. I don't understand this deadline at all. At all. It was terrible, and I mean, everybody knows it's terrible. I think the only person who I've seen say like a positive thing about this trade deadline was Jeff Passan, because he mentioned that an 18-year-old in A-ball makes good swing decisions. Like, that's that was like the one thing, but like, that's it. no one,
tell
no
Doug
one
that.
thought, no one thought the Pirates did well this deadline. Everybody's befuddled with what transpired. Just a failure on multiple fronts by Ben. And then he goes out and I said he just starts telling you these quotes about the deadline, and you're like, Ben, like that didn't happen. Like none of this stuff happened. You didn't open up playing time for younger guys.
You
He
could have.
mentions that and then he goes back and he mentions the thing that we classic Ben Cherington, quantity over quality. He's like, yeah, we had access to better players, but we like this package of guys. Like he was like, we'd rather take 3 guys who might be good, except other than like the guy who was. Like it was the fact that he went out there and said that they had access to better players for Bednar, but they liked the overall package better that they took was wild to me. Like you literally, so you're telling us we could have gotten a better player, and you said no. You were like, no, I'll take instead of the one good player, I'll take the 3 mid players. Give me that.
I want to pause right there also because I want you to emphasize and allow people to understand too. This isn't a scenario where Baseball America's rankings had these better players, but our internal rankings had the player that we took better. This wasn't the scenario of our rankings don't match up. You nincompoops don't understand rankings. Flores is ranked higher on our projections. That's not what he was alluding to. That's not what he said. He literally said better players. He didn't say per our rankings, we got the better player. He said we had access to better players. We liked the package. I want to emphasize that because I don't want this misconstrued. I don't want people thinking about this. I want people, because I already have comments. You guys understand there's internal rankings also, right? Yes, I'm well aware of internal rankings and how they work, and each team has them. I'm well aware. That's not what he said. He said we had access to better players. He's acknowledging better players, not higher ranked by your rankings opposed to ours. Let that sink in.
He just liked the package.
Pause. But yes. That's what we did for
doesn't
David
work
Bednar.
out. It never works out when he does this stuff, especially when he does it with the Yankees. My God, this is just a classic Ben to the Yankees move. Every time he's dealt with the Yankees, he hasn't
work out, Jim?
He hasn't gotten the best player available. He always gets these underwhelming guys, but he packages them together where there's like 3 of them.
I'm sure it's worked out once before, right, Jim? Someone had us compiled some trades with the Yankees that something's worked out, right? I'm sure that's out there somewhere. I think you're lying.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. So, yeah. So in Ben Cherington's tenure, he's acquired 10 different Yankees top 30 prospects. 10
top 30s in his tenure? Well, surely one's worked out.
Surely. Number 8, Roansy Contreras. Probably the best of the bunch. Number 8, Rafael Flores. Number 11, Miguel Yajure. Number 16, Kanan Smith and Jigba. Number 16, Edgelin Perez. Number 22, Kiner Delgado. Number 24, Brian Sanchez. Number 25, Hoy Park. Number 27, Michael Escoto. Number 27, Diego Castillo. He's acquired 10 top 30 Yankees prospects. Roansy Contreras gave us, like 1/2 summer of Roansy Day and then fell off a cliff. And no one else has really provided anything whatsoever. If anything, it's negative value. I think someone actually went through here, and those 10 people have provided the Pirates like negative 2.1 WAR total.
It's Jim. Then never mind. I heard those names. They didn't give up much. They didn't give up much for those, right?
Yeah, they didn't give up too much. They gave up Jamison Tyone. They gave up future multi-time All-Star Clay Holmes. And they gave up JT Brubaker. And multi-time All-Star David Bednar. Yeah.
My bad. Not looking too good, Ben. Hang up when Cashman calls. Hang up.
Or just get the one, like instead of, like I said, in all cases, he went with the package, right? He went with the package with 2 or 3 Yankees prospects. Just get the one guy you want. Don't do this 1 for 3. Like 1 for 3 trades are fine if the 3 players are good, but 1 for like the sum of the parts. Here's what I don't understand. Like the value of here's what, and it's just a simple math equation, Ben. Like if 3, let's say you put a value on players, right? And let's say David Bednar is worth a 10, right? We're just pulling out hypothetical numbers, but let's just assign a value of 10 units, whatever you want to David Bednar. If you get 3 players where all of them are ranked 4, it's like, oh, I'm getting 12. And I'm only giving up 10. I won this trade. I'm getting more. Well, the problem is in order to get to that 12, you need to use 3 roster spots.
Mm-hmm.
You got to use 3 roster spots to get to that 12, whereas before you only had to use 1 to get to that 10. This is where I don't understand this quantity over quality thing that he consistently does, because yeah, you can make it so that an overall package looks good on paper, right? From a balance standpoint, but that's a bad trade. It's a bad trade. If you have to use 3 roster spots to get the same value that you're getting out of 1, that's bad.
Also,
it's bad.
those 3 are probably 4s. Again, like they're 4s. You have one guy who's a 10. That's a stud. That's a really good player. And now you have 3 4s.
Yep.
Are they even major leaguers? Are they, you know what I mean? Like that's your, are they going to pan out? And again, like we talk about, like I do like Flores as a prospect. Yeah, it's like I hate him. Spencer Jones, I hate. Like that's what I'll put out there. Like Spencer Jones, I hate as a prospect. I didn't want him anywhere near here, right? But like Flores, I do like as a prospect. But again, like you should be able to get him plus, like you should have more value in this system right now with him also there. It was just so light, and I just, yeah. And I want to bring that up too, like your point. That's a really good point. I like how you explained it, because the people like to look at just purely WAR also in trades. Like, oh, well, the Pirates won because we trade off this guy and he got 8 WAR, but we got 10 WAR in returns. Like, yeah, you got 10 WAR because it's spread about 5 people. You got 5 undervalued, 5 guys that are below league average players that totaled out to being 2 WAR. Did that help your team? That's also a loss, right? So that's what you do have to, like, I hate the quantity part of it also. I hate the total WAR sense. Did you have any impact guys in that deal? Like, that's also what matters. You gave up an impact guy. Regardless, I know we're going off a tangent here, but yeah, I didn't like that trade. I don't like the deadline. I like, in theory, veterans being here, right? I don't want to say that's a terrible answer, because you know what? That's something I've said before in the past. I don't want to just now say that's stupid, but there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions right now. The veterans have been brought in. They've been here for 4 months. Now let the kids kind of play. Let other kids kind of play. Billy Cook and Devaney aren't kids anymore. We got to let them play. So anyways, yeah, I'm kind of dumbfounded on that. But transitioning to other quotes that Ben said also, obviously they've shedded a lot of salary. You know, fans are well aware of payroll. They're well aware of shedding. They're well of salary dumping. Ben says the one thing that is going to trigger everyone in Pittsburgh, because we've been triggered by it time and time again, because they're bit by hearing this and finding out what happens. It's not in the calculus, Jim, to shed money. They look at this as ways to reinvest into the team of 2026. So they're not out here to shed payroll for 2026. They're out here to reinvest it.
Ben Cherington's quote yesterday: "We would never make a trade in order to save money. That's never part of the calculus." I mean, it's just a lie. that's what that is. It's a lie. Now, you could say that you're saving money to go spend it on somebody else, but like that's still a trade to save money. That's what it is. They made trades like trading Cabrian Hayes. I'm on board with, but trading Cabrian Hayes is saving you money. Now you hope that it gets reapplied, but like that's it. You're trading Cabrian Hayes to save money. You're trading David Bednar right now. The reason why you traded Bednar over Santana wasn't clearly because of the prospects that you got in return. Doesn't seem like it. It's because he cost more money. It's just like we're not stupid. We're not
He
stupid.
also does.
Ben.
I might take this out of context to some level until I get there, but he also does state with Bednar, again, like actual financials, that it's 5.9 million arbitration right now. It's going to go higher next year. But they have mentioned extension talks with Bednar. There's been discussion, not over the past few weeks, but again, like to your point, like, but that's going to go higher. We could reallocate those funds. So again, Santana is cheaper. Bednar's more expensive. Save money.
Yeah, it's just I just don't insult our intelligence. That's all. I mean, let's face it. This team makes trades to save money from time to time.
And again, like the problem is, I get like don't insult our intelligence and blah 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 blah, and like what he says is true. Like it is true. I'm putting air quotes. Like you could reinvest it. Like this is what we want to do. Like that is how they navigated this trade deadline. And if they do the next part, that is how you can make this team into a contender. Like I get that. The problem is, Ben, do you not know the history of the Pittsburgh Pirates general managers and owners? We've heard this. We've heard this. Don't say those words. Just don't say it. Don't say it. Don't tell the fans that, because they hear it over and over and over again, and then they shed payroll and they don't reinvest it. That's why Liriano was shipped, and then they didn't reinvest it. So just, we've been hurt by those words. Don't whip them with us again. Just say something different, or don't say anything at all. But also, there's no trust. I don't trust it. Again, I've been on board saying it, and I still say it to this day. I'm worried that payroll is not going to increase. I'm worried that payroll is not going to stay the same. I'm worried that payroll will actually drop. And therefore, if it's dropping, what do you need to do? Save money.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see a path where payroll goes up based off of attendance this year. If you kind of believe that payroll is tied to attendance, I'm not seeing where that happens. Let me see if Ethan has updated his spreadsheet yet. Doesn't 2026? Okay, looks like he has. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really go through and do like a projected payroll on here, but
he put one out.
Yeah, I mean it's not like in his public spreadsheet though that I'm looking at. But where it comes to the Pirates, like this is a team where like they need to expand payroll next year. Like in order for this team to plug the holes that they have, I think there's a path to it. And like we can kind of, that'll be another show, is like how do you turn this team around? I think there's a path to it, but it's going to require them to up payroll to at least a respectable amount. And by that, I mean like 100 to 110 million dollars, which we've never seen the Pirates do before, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can get a competitive team if they do that, but like that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. They haven't before. Attendance is down. They're not there yet. Like we thought payroll was going to push 100 million this year. It didn't even get. It didn't get there. It didn't get close. I think they were at like 92. Is where they ended up. are they going to raise payroll another $20 million next year? $15 million? Because I think that's where they need to be competitive. And I don't see that happening. So, yeah, I'm done with Ben. I'm done with Ben. The deadline just sealed it. I mean, I was done with him before, but the deadline just sealed it.
It confirmed
it was awful.
why you're done with Ben.
Yeah, exactly. It did. It confirmed that this guy's just way in over his head. Way in over his head.
Yeah, for sure. Because as mentioned, it just came off as if you weren't prepared. No idea what the plan was, or there was all thought like 1,000 plans and you weren't sure which one you wanted to go with, and it just, yeah, I don't know. Too much adjusted. The market heated up, the market went good, and you're like, I wasn't expecting this. What do I do? I wasn't scouting the better prospects in New York, so let me take the two guys I was looking at and throw in this other guy. There, that's a deal. Mm-hmm. I know you're offering, but I don't know who they are. I didn't scout them. Just give me your number 20. Call it a deal. Anyways, yeah. So, should we talk about the Dodgers series? Oh no, the Giants. Paul Skenes had some words to say too. I guess let's just touch on that real quick, just real quick, because they got his thoughts. Paul Skenes more or less said, yeah, we should make sure we invest into some bats this offseason. Did you take this as pressure from Paul or just talking? I didn't take. I asked this because there's a lot of comments of, yeah, get him, Paul. It's like, I didn't think that at all. He was just kind of stating the obvious and just like, yeah, I mean, I didn't see any major league talent come in this deadline, so I just assumed that it's going to be a big offseason, and we have some now flexibility and money to go get some bats. That's how I took it.
That's how I took it as well. I don't think Paul is really saying it. Paul Skenes doesn't strike me as someone who really wants to even involve himself in quotes or reporters or anything to that. So he's just saying, yeah, it sounds like, we traded some guys away. Hopefully we freed up some money. Hopefully we can replace them with some bats next year. Like, I'm not reading too much into it, other than we all know the Pirates need some bats next year. So Paul's saying, hopefully we go out and get some. I'm not reading this as anything other than that, though.
Okay, same. I honestly, like, when I read it, I didn't think of it that way either. And again, seeing the comments, people are fired up. But yeah, like he says, hopefully it also created some space for us to acquire some bats in the offseason. Like that, like I felt he said it in that tone too. And yeah, some of you were fired up. Yeah, tell Ben, get him, be a leader. Tell him what you really feel. He didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Ben said the same thing. Ben said the same thing. I mean, that's what he's saying. He's like, we traded Brian Hayes so that we can hopefully go get a bat for that position.
Right.
I mean, that's
right.
He's just repeating the same talking points.
But it is nice just hearing him talk. So,
he's a man of many words.
Many word. All right, time to talk about the Giants series.
Yeah, let's get after it. We just saw him. The difference this time around is we get to see Johan Oviedo make his first start since late 2023. I'm very excited about that. It's been a long rehab for him, and he's pitched very well on his journey back to the majors here during his rehab assignment. Specifically, just like the past couple of games, like his rehab start that he had in Altoona, his last one, 5 innings, 1 run. And then in Indy, 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks. I think the big thing is, like, you always look at the control and the feel coming back from Tommy John. He's gone 3 straight starts now without walking a batter. So you love that the fact that, like, hopefully Hopefully his command is still there. Tommy John, like I said, it's not the same that it used to be. So the fact that he seems to, at least from his rehab, he looks to be the guy who he was before. And the guy who he was before was a solid major league starting pitcher. I mean, I think it was a while ago because it's been 2 years, but like he had a pretty darn good 2023 season, and him and Mitch Keller kind of kept that team together, especially down the stretch. It was just the two of them. And then, seemingly 3 bullpen games every single 5 games. And him and Keller took the ball every 5 games. And if you remember, that's like the Pirates played good baseball down the stretch in 2023. And Johan Oviedo played a really big part in that. So I am excited to see Johan Oviedo back on the mound in PNC Park. He's going to start tonight. And I think the Giants are throwing out. Is it
Verlander
tonight? So Verlander tonight, Logan Webb tomorrow, Robbie Ray Wednesday. So you've got the future Hall of Famer and the Giants' 2 best starters that you're facing. So all that offense that we saw over the weekend, it's probably not gonna keep up. But yeah, Oviedo, Burrows, Heaney, Verlander, Webb, Ray.
But the
Giants
Pirates are
gonna
playing
want
at
some
home.
revenge. Yeah, Giants
They
are gonna want some
find
revenge though.
somehow ways to win games at home. So there's that. But I want to go back to the Oviedo thing. Yeah, I'm really excited about him. Also, like, kind of keep in mind, right? Because we keep talking about the injury, and we keep going back to like Tommy John. This was actually a lat that put him on the injury. Like, and I just say that because he is actually he's closer to 2 years removed from Tommy John at this point. So end of 2023, he goes down, which is a hard loss because you're hoping to see him in 2024. We were anticipating, like, there's in the realm of possibility a situation where Johan Oviedo is on the opening day roster this year. It didn't happen, and that's fine, but he's going to be probably maybe a May into June call up, like at latest. That didn't happen because of the lat strain, which put him down even further. This guy was every bit able and capable from Tommy John, right? That surgery and that injury, to be pitching much earlier. It was then the other injury, like the lat strain on top of it, that made him out even longer. So I just say that also because like the effects of Tommy John, there may be a little bit more behind him also. Like, you talk about the control. So like, I am excited to see Oviedo come up because he's probably as close as to the pitcher, as far as injury wise, he's going to be going forward. So he has some intriguing stuff. He's showing it. Let's get him up here. And again, we're talking about 2026. Is he going to be an answer for the rotation? I hope so. It's one of the strengths of this team. We see what Burrows is doing, right? You see what Ashcraft is doing in the bullpen. Maybe he can also transition. There's still Bubba waiting in the wings. He's probably going to come up. Splashing Oviedo in here. See what he can do this offseason. I know it's not for saving money reasons, obviously, but they're probably going to trade Mitch Keller. Not to save money, but to trade him. So
yeah, why would you
happens,
trade your starting pitcher who's making $17 million, who's been extremely reliable for you for 5 years?
Right. Exactly, Jim. Exactly. You
do it so that you can get 3 4s. 3 4s equals 12.
Yeah, baby. It's a win. Mitch is only a 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Oviedo is going to help soften that. So, I hope he does well, and I'm encouraged that he will.
Yeah, it kind of just goes back to the whole thing, though, where it's like, it's still, as a title of the show, out with the old, in with the old. Like, it's still not anybody new. Like, we've seen plenty of Johan Oviedo, but it is going to be nice to see him back. He's the one old guy who I'm happy to see back.
And Moretta.
Sure, Moretta too.
I'm happy for Moretta.
Yeah.
All right. Pirates sweeping?
No. I'm going to say, well, you know what?
Taking 2?
I said the Pirates were going to get swept in San Francisco last week. I think that was my prediction. Was the Pirates were going to get swept.
I don't remember.
And they ended up doing the sweeping. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Pirates are going to get swept again.
All right.
I enjoy reverse psychology.
I enjoy that. Yeah. Now they are going to get swept. And then everyone's going to blame it on you anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say that they take 1 out of 3.
Okay.
It sucks that sounded
If
positive.
They take 1 out of 3, they win the season series against the San Francisco Giants. Ooh.
There it is. There it is, baby. Yeah. The red hot Don Kelly Pirates. Let's get out of here. How's that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Don't forget, guys, if you want to bet on the Pirates tonight, head on over to Fanduel. They've got you covered with the best odds. But yeah, let's see how Oviedo does tonight. I'm excited.
I am too. 17.5 outs for him?
No, I doubt it. He hasn't done that in the minors yet.
All right. We're out of here. We love you all. Like, subscribe. If you haven't yet, do those 2 things. You're not allowed to leave this video unless you do. And then if you want, you can join the members, 99 cents, get some cool emojis. Check out our Patreon, some cool perks there as well. And we'll be back again tonight to talk about Oviedo. Can't wait.
Let's do it.
So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.